Me. Hello, everyone. Very good evening. This is your boot camp, but today we're going to watch the live broadcast of the overview portions that we saw yesterday. So, yesterday we saw synonyms and antonyms, and we also saw idioms, phrases, and proverbs. Let's just continue with presenting an argument. I will not be available today in video to interact with you, but tomorrow we are going to have again a session at 7, and I will be asking you quiz questions. We'll have a Q&A based on what you're going to watch now. So from now, for the next 25 minutes, Vinod sir will live broadcast the presenting an argument round, followed by a very interesting video on power of words. Please do watch. Stay till the end. We can sign off at 7:30. Bye, everyone.
Commonly and popularly used meaning of the word argument. To fight, the first meaning here. To fight or to quarrel with someone who has an opinion different from yours. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the second meaning of the word, the one that I have circled here. I'm talking about the set of reasons given in support of an idea or theory, a line of reasoning, verbal reasoning. So, what is this round 15 all about? About argument, about organizing your thought process. To put it simply, I could actually say, like you had jumbled words in jumble tumble, jumbled sentences and form the correct sentence. This is just jumbled sentences of a paragraph you will put in order and get it done with. But to put it in the way we have planned it for you, do you really want to know? I think you should know. We have taken you on a journey that ends here in round 15. I'll explain. In Any spell bee. They give you just a set of words to memorize spellings, but some competitions will also add meanings or phonetics, synonyms, etc. Ah, dear darling students, as you are in level 4, you have to understand and you have to got to listen to what you just finished, what you're about to finish. You're going to complete a wonderful roller coaster journey that started with learning morphemes, the smallest meaningful units of the language. Sounds of words, word forms, inflections, and derivations. Remember? And word combinations, collocations. You remember all this? So, how a word is formed, what different forms it can take, with what other words do they combine, and how they become a phrase, clause, sentence. And of course, you learned synonyms, antonyms, idioms, phrases, literary devices too. You are now fully equipped with the building blocks to construct towering works of literary genius. And it is in this round you're being trained to become a master communicator. So you need to understand every communication has a goal. It might be to inform, to entertain, to persuade, to express feelings, or a number of other purposes. And in this round, we'll show you the different types of presenting information that serve whatever is your goal. Let's look at several options you have for structuring an arguments. So this is, I was telling you, this is how we have taken you. We've started from words and we're ending with profound literary expressions. So these are the different types. Story sequencing order. For a younger grade, it would be a very simple story about a monkey and two cats who quarrel with a piece of bread. And for an older grade student, it would be about organizing the story structure. For example, we have here the story of how to train your dragon. This is one type, story sequencing, and there is logical order, a rhyme for a younger kid called Monday's Child, which proceeds in the days of the week. After Monday comes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, in that order. And for group 2, that's grade 2 student, you have setting up a fish bowl. What are the steps that you logically progress? And then we have chronological order. Chronology, nothing means, it just means time order. So it can be from the present to the past or from the past to the present. All right. So we have here some interesting biographies about Walt Disney, Joan of Arc, and continental drift. Continental drift, how continents used to be one single landmass and how they through the course of time drifted apart, and the war of currents between Edison and Tesla, what really happened and who was a better scientist and who invented what and what transpired during the war of currents. And biography of Jackie Chan, plastic through the ages. We have the history of Olympic Games for group 3. This is the order, chronological order. And what is analogical order? Analogy is nothing but comparison. So here we have life is like a box of chocolates. An expert from the movie script of a movie, and this is all these are comparing one thing to another. Finally, we have here the closing argument of a lawyer, where he compares the condition of the person who is about to be convicted to this little bird that is in the hands of a little boy who's hiding behind, who's hid that bird in his hand. This is for group number, I think, 8. It's a very interesting one. I think group 8 students will enjoy. So we have different types of ordering, as you can see here. And what is emphatic? Emphatic is the adjective form of the word emphasis. So the ordering can be either from small to big, from easy to difficult, from simple to most complex, or from least importance to most important. Here we have many interesting ones. This is from group 5, so grade 5 students book, Making Sense of Senses. So many people think people only have 5 basic senses. And our mom, she always says with the gaining of the sixth sense, we have even lost all our five senses. This is our DK Ma'am's quote. And this here in this exercise, we actually delve deeply into understanding what all the senses that we possess. And you can see actually here in point number 5 that we have more than 5 senses. Many neuroscientists identify 9 or 21, and some even list as many as 33 senses. So what are these senses that we possess? This is emphatic order from simple to most complex. And we have deductive and inductive reasoning. We have climactic and anticlimactic order. Climactic is slowly progressing, reaching a crescendo and finishing with a very interesting, a very engrossing climax. Anticlimactic order is when the reverse of what you think happens, or it is also the order in which the newspapers print their articles. The most important one comes at the beginning. The headline gives the crux of the most important. Everything that's most important comes in the headline itself. That is the anticlimactic order. And when you read through the article, you will actually find that events are described in the decreasing order of importance. That is the anticlimactic order. And then we have compare and contrast order. We are comparing and contrasting dolphins and sharks, fruits and vegetables. That's very interesting. And Arctic and Antarctic. And here we have for a higher grade, that's grade 7, we have compare and contrast poem by Maya Angelou. I know why the caged bird sings. It's actually an allegory. She compares people who are free and people who are not to that of a caged bird and a free bird.
நீங்க பாக்குற இந்த பேக்ரவுண்ட் ஒரு ஏஜ் ஜெனரேட்டட் விஷுவல்னு சொன்னா நம்புவீங்களா? அவ்வளோ ஏன் நானே ஒரு ஏஜென்ட்.
And then we have cause and effect order. A very interesting one here is what made the Nobel Prizes possible. A bad piece of journalism actually contributed to instituting the Nobel Prizes. This is for grade 5. And what causes extinction? A very thought-provoking read. So all our articles, we penned it ourselves. That will be very interesting for you to read. And problem and solution order. And then we have narrative paragraph or a narrative poem. Here we are describing, this is in group 9, how a 12-year-old girl gave Pluto its name. So it's being narrated to you. A narrative paragraph will definitely have a different organization compared to other types of paragraphs, right? It's more like you're listening to a story. A persuasive paragraph will make you want to act based on what you're listening. So here we have a poem on democracy, and then we have the final speech from the movie The Great Dictator. And then we have a process paragraph or how-to paragraph. How to read poetry by Billy Collins is a good read here. This is in grade 8. And how to survive a quicksand, that is in group 7. If you really want to know, take the group 7 book and see how to survive a quicksand. And analytical writing, here we analyze why something is done. So the tone in which it's written, the choice of words, the way it is written will be very different, right? So here we are analyzing why the Russians used to put a frog in the milk. There's a frog in milk. Yeah, for good reason. Actually, they used to put this brown frog to preserve the milk from getting spoiled. So every night Russians put, yes, this really happened. It's not an old wives' tale. And now they're actually researching on what enzymes these frogs are secreting that keeps the milk from getting spoiled. And then we have experimental report writing. This is an experiment of 5 monkeys. And argument and counter argument. We have a real case scenario between 2 lawyers, and then we have arguments and counter arguments about animal testing. That's a very good one. So you understand the purpose of this round is make you understand the purpose of this round primarily is for you to construct your own literary expressions because words and all these inflections, collocations, and synonyms, antonyms, like I just told you, are just building blocks. And you are to build your own towering works of literary genius. And here I have a video that we have prepared actually for a conference, but this would be driving the point straight to you. This would make you think and understand the importance of words and on how they can and have shaped the world as we know it today.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream. My four little children one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed in all flesh shall see it.
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not only or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
And all those watching tonight from beyond our shores, from parliaments and palaces, to those who are huddled around radios in the forgotten corners of the world, our stories are singular, but our destiny is shared. And a new dawn of American leadership is at hand. To those who would tear the world down, we will defeat you. To those who seek peace and security, we support you. And to all those who have wondered if America's beacon still burns as bright, tonight we proved once more that the true strength of our nation comes not from the might of our arms or the scale of our wealth, but from the enduring power of our ideals, democracy, liberty, opportunity, and unyielding hope.
You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
There are 365 days in a year, 24 hours in a day, and 60 minutes in an hour. So tell me, how
And brothers of America. It fills my
ancient author of monks in the world. I thank you in the name of the mother of religion. And I thank you in the name of the millions and millions of Hindu people of all classes and sects. To fight on the seas and oceans, we shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. Do we not owe it to ourselves, to our children, to tormented mankind, to make sure that these catastrophes do not engulf us? Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy. I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat.
It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here, dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead, we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
The government has now decided that a large task force will sail as soon as all preparations are complete.
Prime Minister, we do still have 3 weeks before our ships reach the islands. All we're saying is that we shouldn't give up on trying to find a diplomatic solution.
The US Secretary of State has arrived, Prime Minister.
So you are proposing to go to war over these islands. They're thousands of miles away, a handful of citizens, politically and economically insignificant, if you'll excuse me.
Just like Hawaii, I imagine.
I'm sorry.
1941, when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. Did America go, cap in hand, and ask Tojo for a peaceful negotiation of terms? Did she turn her back on her own citizens there because the islands were thousands of miles away from the mainland United States? No, no, no. We will stand on principle, or we will not stand at all.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm indeed delighted to be with the honorable members of the European Parliament on the occasion of the Golden Jubilee year of the European Union. I'm reminded of the dream of an Indian poet, Kanyan Pungundranar, who articulated in 3,000 years back in Tamil classic Puranam. He says, Yadum Ure, Yavarun Keli, which means I am a world citizen. Every citizen is my own kith and kin, he said 3,000 years back. As he said in India, where there is righteousness in the heart, where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is harmony, but there is an order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world.
Mr. President Abdul Kalam, in the name of the European Parliament, I want to thank you for this important inspiring speech. This was one of the most extraordinary speeches we have ever heard. From a statesman, scientist, and poet, this is unique. All the best to this great nation, India. All the best to our cooperation between the great nation India and the European Union. All the best, Mr. President.
Hello, I'm Seven Suzuki speaking for ECHO, the Environmental Children's Organization. We're a group of 12 and 13-year-olds trying to make a difference. We've raised all the money to come here ourselves, to come 5,000 miles to tell you adults you must change your ways. Coming up here today, I have no hidden agenda. I am fighting for my future. Losing my future is not like losing an election or a few points on the stock market. I am here to speak for all generations to come. I am here to speak on behalf of the starving children around the world whose cries go unheard, for the countless animals dying across this planet because they have nowhere left to go. I am afraid to breathe the air because I don't know what chemicals are in it. I used to go fishing with my dad until just a few years ago we found the fish full of cancers. And now we hear of animals and plants going extinct, every day vanishing forever. I have dreamt of seeing the great herds of wild animals, jungles and rainforests full of birds and butterflies. But now I wonder if they will even exist for my children to see. All this is happening before our eyes, and yet we act as if we have all the time we want and all the solution. You don't know how to bring back an animal now extinct, and you can't bring back the forest that once grew where there is now a desert. If you don't know how to fix it, please stop breaking it. Here, you may be delegates of your government, business people, or politicians, but really, your mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles, and all of you are someone's child. I'm only a child, yet I know we are all part of a family, billions strong. In fact, 30 million species strong. I'm only a child, yet I know we are all in this together, bent on war, bent on finding environmental answers, ending poverty, and finding treaties. What a wonderful place this earth would be. And now 20 years have gone by. We have not even come close to achieving the sustainable transition that we knew we needed back then.
You can find that many of the excerpts here are in your presenting an argument. So with this, I want to wish you all the very best for your L4 competition and to all of your own future profound literary expressions, because I'm very aware that I'm speaking with the torchbearers of the next generation. You are the original thinkers, the powerful communicators, the thought leaders, transformational entrepreneurs, visionaries, and leaders. And it is on your shoulders to portray a kind of planetary citizenship. To quote Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass, go sound your barbaric yawp over the roofs of the world. Go forth, children, conquer the world.